anyone but me.
Good afternoon, morning, evening or night, ladies and gooners of the world. I am Alex and this is episode 131 of the Media Posdact. Every week since being back we've got it wrong. No, it's because I make such a mental note of like, right, this one particular detail, don't get that bit wrong.
Yeah.
So then my brain gets everything
right but that.
Yeah. So what, it's actually 231.
It's 231.
Yeah, check the number and everything. I'm your host Alex, joined by Tyler Durden down here.
Good afternoon, morning, evening or night.
How's your IKEA furniture getting on, my friend?
I love it. I love IKEA furniture. I represent IKEA furniture in every part of my life.
What about you, gamer Jim?
Who?
I mean Jim.
Yeah, I don't have IKEA furniture.
There you go. This is the cast. Before we get too deep into it, I want to shout out the Jar Media Patreon that made the audio version of the show possible, and have your names read out in the first week of every month. Gamer neck aside, I'm feeling okay on this Friday. We're having a heat wave in the UK. It's feeling pretty sweaty.
It's a bit cooler today.
Is it actually a heat wave? Because this just feels like kind of a summer, like not necessarily a...
Yeah, I mean, it is
normal.
June, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is June.
Yes, yeah.
So this is just summer. But it's actually quite... But it's been really hot, but it's also been really overcast and moggy. So
today, it's been particularly humid. So it's like swamp crotch central.
Yeah, it's not the most pleasant. It's not the type of weather we do a walk in. Not that.
No. Too sloppy.
Yeah, we
don't. I'm the only one here in shorty shorts. You guys not fans of shorts?
I would have worn shorts had I known Tyler Durden wasn't gonna have dinner with me.
You preoccupied, my friend. Tyler. This is quite an intimidating angle to be at, 'cause it's like looking down.
It's just bullying.
Yeah, I feel like a bird of prey.
Want to just start bullying.
Yeah,
it's just something about being up here. I just want to start just going in.
Yeah, is that why tall people
have a complex of being a cunt during their early years?
Yeah.
Well, let's do some housekeeping.
Dirty house.
Oh, is that what it's called now?
Well, the house is dirty and it needs to be...
that's why we're cleaning it.
Dirty house cleanup gamer neck section.
Yeah.
This is where we go to the comments from the last episode and just see what people are thinking, what the general discussion was, you know? Whole 9000 is going to start us off. I went back and watched the Yogs with Argy's initial debut in it, and it's kind of crazy to see the character arc that boy has had throughout the years. He started off as a hotshot little goober who had no respect for anyone, then was taught a lesson and humbled by the unconventional mentor figure of Max, which is my golden retriever, kind of like Yoda teaching Luke. Then he suffered the loss of his master, and now, as a wizened old sage, must instruct Paisley on the journey he has gone through. The cycle of life is real and it's effing funny.
I disagree with that, because he hasn't... How he was described as a puppy, he still is.
No, but he has gone through that. He had his master.
He did. But now he's...
leadership character.
He's had an arc, it's just not perfectly... It's more nuanced than this person would lead you to believe.
And he's teaching Paisley.
Yeah, he's like Han Solo, more so I'd say. He's like a hotshot asshole type.
Who's Han Solo's master? Woody Harrelson.
Yeah. No, but I mean, minus that bit. But his character archetype is hotshot asshole. And he doesn't just stop being a hotshot asshole because that's who he is, but he learns to sort of exist within a
galaxy?
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that.
He's just he's carrying on his bad habits to Paisley, so he's teaching Paisley the wrong things, like eating her own shit.
So there were a few questions regarding this bai pan thing we were talking about at one point in last episode. Will D is going to start us off. There's kind of a difference between bi and pan, although they're both trans-inclusive, but they're both arbitrary labels in the end. In practice, a bi person can be attracted to exactly the same people as a pan person, so it's really just a matter of which label you prefer. This is a big point of discussion in online LGBT plus groups, and it's honestly a big waste of time. Jim was right in saying labels are stupid. And Jack says, thanks boys for the frank and confident discussion about sexuality. That seriously made me feel more comfortable about myself, and it was also very funny top tier segment, and thanks again.
You're welcome.
I'm glad. No, there was a very good response to that subject, and I'm glad that people were saying that just like bi is trans exclusive, and it's just like you prefer in what way you prefer, trans or pan.
You like what you like, whatever.
Yeah.
Jack says, oh no, sorry. No, I already just read Jack's one. Wow, Jar really left one regarding Jim's claim about an eagle. Just want to say that Jamie's claim that an eagle wouldn't be able to fly if it was the size of a bear is probably wrong. I'm almost certain that an eagle of that size would still be able to fly. My case in point, Quetzalcoatlus. Let me try that again. Quetzalcoatlus. That's another one. I was like, when I screenshotted that question, I was like practicing like how to say it. Because I can say it.
What is a Quetzalcoatl?
It's like a big prehistoric pterodactyl type thing.
Yeah, there was some fucking huge
This prehistoric creature, a type of pterodactyl, was most likely able to fly due to its hollow bones, much like modern birds, and it was the size of a fighter plane in World War II. Yeah, look up a photo, it's terrifying. Yeah, some of them were absolutely huge.
Yeah, but they're not the proportions of an eagle.
No, but in saying that, there were prehistoric eagles that were about the size of rhinos. Those being the Haast eagles that I think we actually mentioned on Jar a long time ago, and they were native to New Zealand, and they hunted moas because they had to be big enough to take down moas.
Yeah, moa's a big bird.
Yeah, but moas are huge. Google one of those.
Yeah,
were huge. Sorry. I think you can see one of their bones in the Natural History Museum. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think you're right. The thing is, what it comes down to is that you're wrong. And I'm right? Like,
I want to see it happen.
You want to see a bird the size of a bear fight me?
Yeah, because you're so confident on this that you could just fight an eagle normally. I need to see this.
There were a couple more little ones here. Someone said, does anyone know what Alex is always looking at? Probably referring to the way I always go. But I keep aiming it wrong because I look at like the TV that's streaming what our camera can see, but it's in the wrong place. So.
They can't know that, though.
Yeah, like if we don't look at the camera, we're probably looking at the TV of ourselves.
And yeah, speaking of the camera, Georgie said, lighting is depressing, as is this episode. Might want to make it a bit warmer and like more bright. On the bright side, Jim looks a little too nice in a hat.
There's no such thing as too nice.
But I don't know what to do about lighting. I don't.
None of us have done a PhD in lighting.
Or masters.
It's super hard to get right with especially when like the third light broke. The room is different.
We literally went out of our way to upgrade our lighting to make it better. A week after, the third one just broke. We just do things to improve it, and it always breaks.
Yeah, and like we have all the main lights right next to the camera and stuff, so it's like not ideal in terms of getting it perfect, but
we'll get there someday. But how was last episode depressing?
Well, it's like that Jar thing where they just like leave a comment saying like, "Oh, the worst one yet."
No, I understand that, but
it wasn't depressing. I swear.
I never applied logic to any of it. It's pointless.
Yes, but by that stretch, then nothing is worth.
Nothing is worth. Apart from this one from Josh saying, just get some beanbags.
I would love for that to be possible.
My only concern with beanbags would be the constant noise.
Yeah, but they're not good for noise.
Yeah.
And they're not comfortable either.
Well, they're comfy.
They're comfy, yeah.
It's noisy.
You used to have a beanbag.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't recall any of us ever using it during Jar.
Yeah, we didn't. It was the really big, it was the level one.
Didn't.
Yeah, because the sound.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm pretty sure If we go back, there might be one episode where we actually do.
Yeah, there might be.
It's entirely possible.
I've got a hazy memory of that.
I just don't remember early Jar at all.
It was a long time ago now.
Well, yeah. When did we start? When David Bowie died. That's how I always remember it. 2016?
Yeah.
Yikers.
Can't remember.
But it's like, I hope people don't think that this is like a permanent setup.
No, I think we like this one right now.
Yeah, I'm fine with this one. Let's do a quick jar vote. All in favour of...
whoever can put their arm highest is who wins.
Yeah.
You're not going to try? That's fine.
For those listening, Alex and I put our hands much higher than James.
Let's end this segment with this one from Ayamu Paya. This is very out of place, but I'd like to personally thank Alex for getting me into Talking Heads. It is such a great band. I'm immensely grateful. Your taste in music is amazing. Thank you. More comments that joke me off, please.
The jerk off comments.
No, but seriously, the reason I brought this up was because to transition into topics. Speaking of Talking Heads.
Oh no.
What do you mean, oh no?
I don't like where this is going.
No, I somehow didn't know that in 2008, David Byrne and Brian Eno got back together to do an album called Everything That Happens Will Happen Today. And I don't really love the whole album, but it has a certain song on it called Strange Overtones, which just sounds like it's just capturing that sound from the 80s, from that, I can't remember what it was called. I'm so bad at remembering all these names. My brain's just so full of shite. Remain in Light.
Yeah.
Because that was the previous one they worked together on, but yeah, I'd recommend that. It's a really, really good song in particular, Strange Overtones. You should give it a listen, bro.
Yeah, I will. What's the album called?
The album is called Everything That Happens Will Happen Today. Yeah. Just want to throw that out there.
Is his solo stuff worth listening to?
Well, yeah, I've been going
through
his solo stuff too. And he did a collab album with Saint Vincent, who I've listened to a little bit of before.
Is Saint Vincent in the latest Gorillaz album?
Yeah, she is. And it's what I've heard from that is actually really good. It's got some really, really strong songs on it. Weird combination, but it does work really well. Yeah, I'd recommend that too. I'm trying to remember what it's called. What about you guys? Anything new? Anything fresh?
I've been listening to a fair bit of music.
Sorry, it's called Love This Giant. Is that David Byrne, St. Vincent album? What were you saying, bro?
I want to throw James into the flame.
Into the bus.
Into the flame.
Here we go. This is every week. It's just the Bully James segment.
Well, there's no better episode for the Bully James segment.
We might as well get it all out of the way now.
No, I just want to hear your honest and thought through opinions on the album.
You might get an honest, but you won't get a thought through or whatever.
What's the album?
Bandana by Freddie Gibbs. I just want James to make this opinion public.
When it came out...
Did you listen to it when it came out?
Yes. Do you know, because on Twitter, everywhere, every single post was about Bandana.
Really?
Everywhere. It was on the news channel.
When did it come out?
2019.
Okay.
So, but obviously, Freddie Gibbs, one of his songs was in GTA 5, and that's how I originally knew him.
Wait, which song of his is in GTA 5?
It's not his, he's just on a song.
Oh,
feature.
He's a feature. Okay. So I've known about him, but I'd never actually listened to any of his albums prior to Bandana. And I listened to Bandana, and I was really disappointed.
How much of it did you listen to?
I gave up after the third song.
The third song? This is a thing with albums. Do you think you can judge an album from like the first few songs, like the whole thing?
I don't think you can even judge an album from one listen of the whole album.
I
No.
agree.
No,
There are so many times where
I would disagree, because sometimes from the first outset of an album you get a vibe of that album, like the mood that album's going for.
the
You can
vibe
tell.
doesn't hold as strong though as
No,
a whole
but-
cohesive. Like,
No, but you kind of know what the sound is. You know what the like Good Kid, Mad City. You can tell from the start of that the type of vibe that the album has, and that's kind of how I'd base off albums. Is just like, you know, if the first few songs have a white vibe, then I will listen to all of it. Like Shadow of a Doubt.
You see, I didn't think you listened to albums chronologically.
I do when I'm at my desk and I'm actually on Spotify, because then I can.
Yeah.
But like other times, not so much. Sometimes if it's just like Spotify mobile, because I don't have premium, you can only shuffle it. So, but I do know, like, listening to it in chronological order, it makes sense in an album sense that you're actually going through it, the experience. But at the time of the first time I listened to Bandana, like, I don't know if this was before or after I had the binge of MF Doom.
Mhm.
But obviously, Madlib had done loads of production on his albums as well. So it might be why I just didn't gel with it at the time. But obviously, I've recently gone through most of Freddie's discography. And there's loads of albums I do like. Footy.
I think you should
Alfredo.
give it another go. Do you like Alfredo?
Yeah, there's a few songs that are quite good in Alfredo.
I like Alfredo. I don't think I've listened to Bandana.
What's that other one? I don't know. It's the pink background and he's wearing like a zebra.
Freddie.
Freddie, yeah.
Yeah, that's I like a few songs on that as well.
That album is quite obnoxious. You know, it's from that
Freddie.
era of rap that's just like bass cranked to the max,
Yeah.
and like that's basically it.
Shadow of I like that one, yeah. I like Shadow of a Doubt a lot. I think that's my favourite of his. So I think the first 3 songs of that they just completely slap. They've got the right vibe and everything.
Is there a chance you'll go back and listen to it now that you've matured then?
Yeah, probably.
I think you should.
Because my music taste has changed a lot since 2019. You know, I've just grown and matured a lot, so I actually appreciate production more than I ever did, and I kind of actually listen to lyrics and all and whatnot.
I was listening through it, and I was wondering if the reason it didn't gel with you is like the use of vocals in the production.
How so? What's different about it?
Well, you know, in the beat when you have like sort of a repeating voice, like a woman singing or something.
No, I
Like
don't
Crazy
think that.
Frog or something.
Yeah, sort of like Crazy
Ding
Frog.
ding, whatever.
Yeah.
No, I don't think. I've never really noticed that on my first listen. I just think there was something about the production at the time that I didn't appreciate, and it just didn't vibe. I didn't vibe with, so I just didn't listen to it. Because this might have been a phase when I was listening to 9 Inch Nails a lot, where I'm super expecting that kind of production, so I might have just not clicked with it at the time.
Yeah, because that's the band that I can't really. I've never gelled with them in a particular time. Yeah.
See, I came in through like movie scores and went in
Yeah.
that way.
And I came in at the start when it was just pure absolute 80s edge, and that's when I've actually gone to actually appreciating his production. Is generally incredible. He's unbelievable.
That new song with Health. Have you listened to that yet?
Yeah. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's just a great song, because Health did one with JPEG as well, JpegMafia, which is also very good. I also like Peggy a lot. I do really like some of JpegMafia's stuff.
Yeah, I've never gotten in. He's grime, isn't he?
God, no.
What's JPEG Mafia?
He's in the Gorilla song.
Oh, the one with the Japanese.
Yeah, he's a bit of a weeb.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what genre is he?
He's just rap.
Okay. You see, this is me showing my ignorance, because I thought English rap was just grime.
He's not. He's American.
He's American.
Yeah, he's the one who went. Ruben was saying that he went to. The military recruited him from like school, and he did it, hated it, and then he just bought music equipment. Like
Right.
that's how. I know that's the thing he's talking.
I don't know
about.
why I associated him with Britain then.
No, it might have just been because all the
I think it's
names-
because you were listening to a lot of
grime at the time.
Grime
and I
at-
might have.
grime at
Yeah.
the time. and then and then also JPEG Mafia. So I just sort of lumped him in.
Yeah. He's got a
other
really good.
grandmasters.
Bald is his best song. Because it's got a sample from Ridge Racer. So obviously I'm just going to click, like, damn. No, but I listened to it for the first time and I was like, I know this is just my childhood, what the fuck? And I was going through my YouTube likes to find that one song that sample is from. And now that song is now like millions of views because of the sample. And it's like, JPEG. But I do recommend listening to Peggy as well. He's very good.
Seeing as we're on this topic, any other goodies to throw out there? I've got something I've been watching I kind of want to throw out specifically for the cast.
Yeah, go for it.
I mentioned like Avatar: The Last Airbender and how much I enjoyed that. I went on to watch The Legend of Korra, kind of follow up, loosely attached new series.
I think it's more popular than the original.
Do you think so? Because I kind of have the opposite thing going on with it. I've just given up on it. I'm just straight up just not going to finish it. I watched the first season, and the first two-thirds of it is pretty weak stuff. Like, it's all just like love triangles. They introduce this weird like sport thing, and it's all about this like sports using their avatar powers, and it's like contrasting this against The Last Airbender, where like every episode is like a new story. It's like self-contained, but it's advancing a plot. There's so many good characters. Like, it's just so fucking genius. So then go into this, it's like it's just not the same. It's not funny either, which is a huge thing about the original Avatar. It's actually funny. Like, it's genuinely funny. I laugh out loud like a lot at that show. It's the perfect tone. Whereas Korra is a bit more, I don't know, it's a bit more edgy, I guess. It's more...
Yeah, I get the edgy vibe from that compared to the original.
But even, like, it doesn't even have the awesome martial arts action stuff in the same way, because it's always kind of ruined by, like, stupid, like, robot enemies or, like, kind of bad, simplistic CG cars driving around and stuff. Like, it's just not in the Last Airbender, like, original show. And the main thing that stopped me watching was there's a huge decrease in the animation quality from season 1 to season 2, so severe that it's like it pulls you out so much, and the line work is so obviously worse. And I was like, it can't just be me who feels this. So I like Googled it and found like people have made like comparisons of just...
No, I think when you're watching stuff like animation, I think a massive drop in quality from season to season is the biggest turn off.
And it's just so strange coming from Last Airbender, where it just gets better as it goes along. Like, the animation gets better because they have more of a budget.
Yeah.
They had room to explore the story, whereas like the first season of Korra, it starts getting interesting, and like the last third of that first season, you're like, oh cool, this is actually like starting to build up now. There's a sense of momentum building. But then in the last episode, they just wrap everything up super clean, and then in season 2, it's just like something completely different, something new, and it's like none of this is what made The Last Airbender good. So I just don't really care, even though it does have some cool characters in there. Like J.K. Simmons plays like one of Avatar's like descendants, and he kind of looks like him, but he's like grown up.
That's cool.
It does have some cool stuff in there, but it just doesn't work as a whole. I'm kind of really disappointed because I really I can't stop thinking about The Last Airbender. I love like a good hero's journey, and the fact he's like a monk, and like the just the peace having to come up against the conflict is just such a good like idea to me.
Yeah, I've been watching a bit of it. The Last Airbender, that is.
Yeah.
And I'm sad I didn't have access to it when I was a kid. I think
So am I.
it would have been my shit. It would have been my whole... Like, I was obsessed with Star Wars as a kid. If I'd have...
I genuinely think Disney, for this new trilogy, should have used The Last Airbender as more of a model of what to do with their characters, because the terrible new Star Wars trilogy tries to hit similar beats that are just masterfully achieved in that children's show on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Which kind of puts other stuff to shame. Like, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm a real big fan.
As far as a kids show goes, it is pretty much flawless. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, to the point where
I was waiting for there to be a bad episode, and every time I was
Yeah.
like on the edge of like this might be a bad episode,
Mhm.
then it like would do something, it would reveal something, the story
Yeah,
would
and
like go back on itself, and
it feels like the lessons it tells, like through its morals and stuff, are actually valuable things for
That's-
people
yeah.
to learn.
yeah, like the
Like,
philosophy behind it all.
You could be like 80 years old, watch this show, and you'd learn something.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, it has one of my favorite characters, just the uncle character in that show.
Mm.
I'm just obsessed with that character. I think he's so interesting. Where he's like an old general who like fucked up, but now he's like trying to redeem himself through his family. Yeah, huge fan. It's
Yeah.
on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, I'm late to the party on this one, but
Yeah, totally.
any other goodies to throw out there before we go to the mid-break? We've been watching, as a unit, Jackass has been coming up quite a lot lately.
Yeah.
Classic MTV nutters. It's been kind of a nostalgic experience for me rediscovering Jackass. It's weird because growing up you watched them, I must have been in like early secondary school when they were coming out, so it was that perfect kind of age where it was like gross out edgy stuff. And then you kind of forget about it when you grow up a bit, but going back to it, it's still really funny and there's a lot of charm to it. Just like and of course the like crudeness is part of the humor. But yeah, what do we watch?
We watched two.
You guys also
And James
watched
and I
three.
watched 3.
And I've seen them all millions of times.
Yeah, I've seen them all quite a bit, but it's just like I last saw them probably when I was 16, 17. So going back now, 24, it's like it's fucking funny. It's so fucking funny. They're all so funny.
Yeah, it's they found the perfect middle ground between horrible
Yeah,
and
like actual torture.
and like just having a laugh
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing.
There's because I got into like Steve-O's YouTube channel and all of these like like Wired interviewing fucking Steve-O and
Yeah,
Johnny
yeah.
Knoxville about their injuries and all that. So you get like a bunch of information through it, and like there's a bunch of crazy shit that went on in like the behind the scenes of all this, and like especially hearing Steve-O's like
His whole life story.
grapple with addiction in
yeah.
particular. It's all on his YouTube channel, like, because he's so insane. He's like recorded all of it too, so he has all this B-roll whenever he's referencing, like, yeah, there was this time I was fucking having an intervention with people that weren't even there because I was so fucked up, and then he like cuts to the footage of it, and it's like, oh my god, he's like not even lying. Like the kind of shit that comes out of his mouth, you like wouldn't believe if it was a normal person, but he's got all the evidence, and it's like him. So you
He
believe
is an insanely interesting person, though. Like
They're
he's
all, I think all of them, they're just a group of people that were like meant to do this.
yeah,
It's like their calling in life.
the only one I would say where the humor is a bit more like almost on the verge of being like just straight up dark is Bam and Bam's shit with his parents.
Yeah.
And that's the one where that's come up recently where Bam is like,
he's addicted. He's an alcoholic, like bad alcoholic.
yeah, there's all these clips of him like posting on social media about how he's been kicked off of the new Jackass because they're making a new movie somehow.
Yeah, somehow. Who would
Fascinating
have
to see
thought?
how that's going to come together. But I actually I checked out Steve-O's like comedy special called Gnarly.
Yeah.
I like Steve-O a lot, but I don't know if I can even really call it stand-up, because what he kind of does is he just like describes his life. It's almost like a cheat code. He's just like just saying like what happened to him, and like that is funny because it's just so insane. His life is insane. It's like not writing jokes. He's just like describing what his.
Did you laugh though?
I did laugh, yeah, but I wouldn't call it like a great stand-up special or anything.
Right,
It's,
yeah.
It's like more reliant on his
It's
insane
just-
life and the clips, and there is kind of a cringy part where he brings out that guy from Jackass 2 who does the like terrorism skit, and he like Steve-O shaves his pubes on stage and like sticks them to his face as like a reference to Jackass 2, which is just like,
Yeah,
the reference shit. It's not like.
it would be more shocking to like actually be there.
Yeah,
It's kind of a when you're watching it on a screen, it's like a been there, done that sort of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm curious to see what a new one is like. It just seems like such a 90s, 2000s thing. Whole, because it shifted on YouTube into like the whole
pranks, the whole prank era.
The prankers, your Sam Peppers and everything.
Who were just doing things that are horrible or just completely fake.
No, because I was telling you guys earlier, I was reminded of that Sam Pepper stunt where he just like convinces his friend that he's been kidnapped and he's like killing his friends around him and stuff. I'd forgotten about that fucking era.
Yeah,
it was actually out of control.
That's my biggest worry about Jackass 4 is like reinvigorating that sort of content on YouTube.
Well, it's impossible on YouTube now.
Yeah.
You can't make your way with it.
But what if...
It sort of existed though, like because it could on YouTube. It was like there were no limitations. Here's Filthy Frank like eating a rat in the streets of Japan.
Yeah. But then you got like genuinely awful shit like what's his name, like Father of Five, Daddy of Five, bullshit.
I mean,
just
like
kids on YouTube.
It started with like Filthy Frank doing weird shit, and then it progressed to just like people being openly racist,
just pushing it.
Yeah.
But maybe Jackass 4 brings balance back. It is the old school, and that's what people want. They want that old school.
Well, I mean, it's no different to like what every other company's doing, like Disney and shit. Like, hey, it's like that thing you remember from the 90s, but now it's the cool 2021 version.
Yeah.
The Powerpuff Girls live action fucking show or some shit.
Or like Cowboy Bebop's Netflix show.
That is going to be shit.
No, it is.
It's going to be absolute trash.
The appeal of that anime is like its whole vibe, the whole soundtrack, the whole visual
animation, the style of it.
Like you can't replicate that. Like that is the thing that can exist in anime and should only exist in the anime.
And that incredible music too.
Incredible soundtrack. So I'll add this out briefly. We talked about grand strategy games not long ago on the cast about Civilization, and I decided to pick up Warhammer II Total War.
There you go.
Yeah, incredible. I don't think I could really go back to Civilization because it gives me that same satisfaction you get from Civ, and all of the systems are a lot deeper. The combat is really deep, and there's loads of, I don't know what the word is. There's just a lot there, and I think it does everything that Civ does just better in every way. And it's a great game, and you should pick it up if you like tactical stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't understand Warhammer. Something that's appealing to me about Civ is that it's
entry level almost. It's not.
Well, I don't know if I'd call it entry level. It's streamlined for sure.
Yeah,
they've figured out how to teach you like these really complex systems,
but simple
in a safe way.
That's the one thing about like when I started Warhammer 2. I didn't do any introductory stuff or like stuff. I just went in, and it took me. I restarted the game 6 times because I was just learning so much and I was just getting destroyed. But that game is really generally difficult as well. So like you make one wrong move, they're eliminating all of your armies and all of your cities, and you're dead. So it's quite hard on you compared to Civ.
What is the visual aesthetic of Warhammer 2?
Like Space Marines.
No, that's 4K. So 4K.
Really? I got it mixed up then.
Yeah, 4K is like the old Space Marines, like orcs, Chaos Gods.
I haven't seen footage from this one then. I've only seen the RTS with the like orcs and shit.
So Warhammer 2 is like set. It's medieval. It's like Lord of the Rings.
Is it fantasy?
Yeah, it's fantasy. So you've got high elves, you've got dark elves, you've got orcs, you've got the Wats. So the Wats are in this. So it's just got kind of that Lord of the Rings aesthetic, but with some of the 4K stuff. So there's like
is
chaos.
Warhammer one of those universes that, one of those like nerd universes that goes fucking deep and has history?
Oh
type
fuck
shit?
yeah!
Yeah, I binged 4K history because Dark Tide is coming out.
Yeah.
Which is like Vermintide bits on the 4K world. Because of that, I went deep into the 4K lore, and it's like weeks on end just watching videos about it. And
so they are different universes, 4K and just Warhammer.
Yeah,
right. Okay,
but there's some, because one of the Chaos Gods in 4K is also in Warhammer, so there's a bit of like some subjects also crossover.
There's something I really like about Civ though, is the progression of technology. It's not like you're medieval and the whole game is like medieval warfare. It's like you're thinking generations ahead of like what you're doing in that current moment, using your knowledge of how like.
Yeah, it seems like different itches to me that are being scratched. By these two.
I would say it's different itches, but the reason why you play Civ 6 hours in a row till 2 in the morning is because you're constantly building on those turns. You're like, oh, I've got this one.
What faction is this, James? Just that.
Oh, they're dinosaurs. They're raptors. They're lizard people.
So they got like a
They're
dino
people.
race.
Yeah.
They're like a dino.
What are they called?
I can't remember the name, but like one of their, it's a big, his thing, the leader of it is like a big frog, and they have rhinos that like are spear people and archers. But no, one thing about it is it's so diverse, and that in Civ you've got all your units, you know, you've got like 10 civilizations, you all make the same units and they all look the same, but all the factions and that, they all vastly different, so it feels more unique. And like the way you do each character, they have completely different ways they play.
But the game is more focused on outright combat, isn't it?
Yes, because you don't make cities, you conquer cities,
right.
And they have all these siege, like when you make siege engines and you attack a fortress, and it's all about fighting. But at the same time, you're still making your cities better. You're managing like, you know, how satisfied they are and like the religions there. So it's still got this. It's like they've got most of the stuff of Civ, but they've just taken a bit away to make the combat more.
Yeah. No, I can tell, because like warring in Civ is super fun. But it's not the whole game.
I hate warring in Civ because once you've got to the big turn and you've got an army, you're having to move every unit individually, and so time consuming. And I find that like when we play and you're England and you're moving units everywhere around, it's so time consuming to do that every turn. But with Warhammer and Total War in general, because it's the whole franchise, your army is just in your leader, so you just move your leader around, so that everything's encompassed in that, so it's quite streamlined in that regard.
But I don't know, there's something about Warhammer. Maybe someday, it's just I don't want to. I bought that game Ghost Runner.
Oh yeah, the cyberpunky kind of.
Yeah,
no, that does look good.
Yeah, because it was cheap on Steam, so I'm going to play that once I finish the Mass Effect games.
While you've been talking, I've just been like looking at screenshots of it. And I think I prefer the aesthetic of this like over the, you know, the orcs with the power armor and stuff.
Yeah, no,
I prefer this. I like this. I think, is this frog guy you're on about?
Yeah.
It's like really weird and creepy.
No, but he's Aztec, so he sits on this flying throne. So it's like an Aztec lizard one, and then you got the orcs. But the good thing about this is, you know, on Civ, like you've got the barbarian camps, and the RNG, they could just like constantly attack you. But with that, there's more of a deeper into like alliances. Right. So a barbarian equivalent can pop up, but you can make an agreement with them so they don't attack you and destroy you. And then there's more. It's deeper in that regard.
Yeah, I think that's what the Barbarians Clans mode in Civ tried to do, but they're just kind of fucked. They need to find another way to fix barbarians.
Like if you're not deep into that, like this whole really deep, you know, war, like grand strategy, I understand the appeal of Civ, but it's like, because the last 2 weeks I've just been watching history videos on the Romans and the, you know, the Parthians and all of that, and all these military breakdowns of their defeats and what went wrong, and it's just, I've had an itch for something deep that's military and focused, and I wanted to play Civ, but it just wouldn't.
Is there not like a Roman themed
one as well?
There's so many of these types of games. There's a Total War.
Is that the
no, that's the franchise. Yeah, it's like a vampire one. Like there's loads of diversity in it, and it's really cool with the unit designs. But yeah, Total War is a franchise, and they have Rome, they have Britain,
Shogun,
Three Kingdoms. Like there's a whole lot of them. And it's just, this was on a sale and it was £11, so I decided.
Yeah, that's the thing. All these games are so complex, and so many of them have terrible tutorials. Whereas Civ has a really good way of teaching players. It
only took me about a whole day to actually get the like 5 hours of gameplay to actually understand it because of Civ. because it's all in my head of managing the cities.
Yeah.
All these little
No,
bars
Civ is the best entry point into
these
this
games.
genre.
Yeah, and it
Without doubt.
I love the Three Kingdoms period. I got interest in that, like Japan, shoguns, and Rome. They're all really interesting, and they're trying to be historically accurate. So you've got, if you actually enjoy history, you've got like an entry point to these type of games. It's just getting over the horrible hurdle. But I think I'm now so in love with the way those games are, that I just don't want to jump back to Civ. Unless if you want to play multiplayer, of course, I still would. But it's like when you want to just get sucked into this big campaign, I think it does it better than Civ can. But also, I really do like the 4K world as well. I think that's fucking mental, that whole world.
I don't really like the way the Space Marines look.
No.
I am going to admit that here and now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you.
The
'cause
really
we're more
chunky-
from the like Halo Space Marine shit.
Yeah, the actual cool shit.
But I'm pretty sure like Master Chief takes cues from them.
No doubt.
Yeah, because that's like
Yeah, but
the
they made
OG.
it cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing.
But it makes sense in the world, because the world, like, if you think of worlds, that world's the worst because they've taken everything and made it plus 1,000. Like, the Space Marines have got armor that's like 15 inches thick and it can't be beaten by anyone. But then the enemy has the same. So it's like this constant power level. So it's just obscene, but it's kind of interesting in that regard. Because the world is shit. It's like-
Multimedia, this whole like Warhammer thing. It goes
Yeah,
over
gotcha. Yeah.
like
No,
books.
because a
there are
huge part
games,
of it
there
is
are
the like figures.
models.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
painting the
that's the
models.
bait. What it's based on is just that's
yeah.
that's
where it
but there are like,
started,
but
yeah.
then there are also
Oh.
like there are strategy games, there are action games. There was that like Gears of War one.
Space Marine. The Space Marine
the Space
one.
Marine that everyone loved.
But it's like, and there's books and the main like games they have, they're all strategy games. Like Dawn of War is the 4K one. But it's like, the reason I kind of got into 4K was that I was at work and I got suggestions of people made these soundscapes to listen to while you play the board game.
Oh yeah.
And and it's just like one of them for like these robot race. They had the Reaper sounds, and it's just like just doing my work, listening to these soundscapes. I found it really interesting, and I just got really interested in through that. But the actual Warhammer world is really interesting because it's very Lord of the Rings, but it also has this kind of really high fantasy of like crazy shit going on. It's just seeing dinosaurs fighting like elves is really
Rats.
yeah, and rats. It's really interesting.
Would you guys ever play Dungeons and Dragons?
Try it, yeah.
Yeah, I
Would
would
you?
try it.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things where there's a lot to learn. So it's like you need an entry point to that, but there's no entry point. It's just
Well, it's what like loads of role-playing games are modelled off. They like use Dungeons and Dragons as the structure.
But like when you're playing with people, like you
You got to role-play.
well yeah,
You
so
have
when
to
you
build
have
for
to
it.
role play.
You're built for it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Okay, Jar Dungeons and Dragons.
D&D.
The Jar Dungeon.
see. I want to know more about it to see how enjoyable it would be. Because we might just lose our friendship over it.
Nah, it ain't
No,
like
the
that.
way Civ goes when you go next to me, that'll end our friendship.
Maybe.
Fucking England, for fuck's sake, building cities by my borders.
Well, on that note, we'll be back after these messages.
Yo, how it is, cuz? Jar Media shirts. Go check them out. Description below. Cheers, bruv. Innit?
Ooh, let me just make my nest. Comfy? You comfy over there, bro? How's your gamer neck getting you going?
I don't think Jamie has much of a gamer neck. Do I have a gamer neck?
No, there was that comment that was like, I'm surprised by the lack of gamer neck.
Let me go
With
sideways.
the tiny chairs and stuff. This episode doesn't count if you're trying to critique my gamer neck. On like a normal episode, have a look.
Do I have gamer neck, Jamie? Do I honestly have gamer neck?
I don't know
No.
what you're talking about.
No, because as gamers, you got to be more concerned about, your back.
Yeah, if
I'm starting to
anything-
feel like a finger strain from editing.
Really? I get
Yeah.
I get like a carpal tunnel mid Civ game. I'm like,
You don't stop, obviously. You just keep going.
yeah. Till 2 a.m.
Well, this is the part of the cast where we answer questions from the Jar Media community. If you want to leave your own questions for us to answer in the future, head over to the suggestion thread where you can ask us whatever you feel like. r/Jar Media is going to start us off. Alex, if you're planning on answering this, please do it at the very beginning of the question segment so that we can hear it in action. Jamie, for the rest of the cast and the foreseeable future, could you say amen to that whenever you agree with something or want to say yeah? And that ain't Christ-like whenever you disagree with something or want to say no. How do you feel about this, Jim?
Who's this rude boy trying to give me instructions, bruv?
Yeah, no, we don't take no instructions from nobody, bruv.
That ain't Christ-like.
Don't do it, Jamie.
Who sounds the most fitting saying it?
You.
No, you say it.
That ain't very Christ-like of you, brother.
Ooh, that was really good, Jim.
That's not Christ-like.
My bet's got to be for James on this one.
No,
Yeah,
I was
definitely.
purposely making it
you
good.
just like whip me away to,
I can't
the
do
church.
it. No, because I
To the
will
church,
forget.
dude.
I will forget to do it. I don't have the.
I felt like I was in the cathedral, bruv.
Well, that's not very Christ-like of you, James. Harry King says, what was the worst era of the internet and why was it 2016?
Because that's when we started making videos.
Yeah. 2016 was that era. That quadrant of the internet was an interesting one.
Was that the peak of the stuff we were saying about earlier, the pranks and shit?
Yeah.
Because that is the worst.
Yeah, it was like pranks. It was 2016. Was that?
Yeah,
that
Trump.
was Trump being elected. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the rise of populism and everything,
Oh.
and the anti-SJW movement.
Yeah, that was the worst bit.
But was the... No, yeah. That was the worst era.
Yeah.
It was so divisive.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Was the problem that it wasn't divisive enough? It was just like there was one opinion that was just like everywhere and accepted and like wasn't scrutinized enough, and it's finally being scrutinized, some of it now.
Yeah, maybe. That may be
I
it.
don't know. Yeah, weird era. Totally weird era.
But I'd say the worst era of the internet was before the internet existed.
No,
Because we didn't have it.
Yeah.
No, I disagree.
You couldn't look up Rude Boy.
Yeah, push your.
Hey Siri, define Rude Boy.
No, surely that time must have been easier.
Yeah,
because then you have like 2-hour conversations in the bar of like what actor was in this like random show or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
true. Conversation was way easier back then.
Yeah, because you could just like waffle on about anything, but now it's like, yeah, what actually is like that flower that it only grows in that one place? And you're just like,
Oh, that's foxglove.
Yeah, I'll find out for you. Hang on, give me 1 second. No, give me 3 seconds.
Yeah, and then you sit there afterwards, like,
Oh, I know that now.
yeah.
For 5 fucking seconds, and then I forget about it.
That's why you have debates about something very specific that
Yeah,
most people don't know.
It's that thing of like communication. It's not as important anymore.
Well, do you think it's just as important, but we've kind of put lesser value on
No, because
the old communication?
now it doesn't matter who's saying it. What matters is the truth. Maybe that's a good thing.
But that's not true, though.
Do you know what I mean?
The truth doesn't matter because people just forge the truth.
Fall Guys, the movie. Sorry, Free Guys. What's it called? That Ryan Reynolds movie. That
Free
wouldn't be
Man.
coming out if we were living in a just society.
Should Ryan Reynolds play Gordon Freeman in a Half-Life movie?
Yes.
Only if the mustache or the facial hair is like really fake looking. Then it would look awesome.
Yeah. And everything has to be green screened.
And as long as he delivers everything in this certain way that only he can do, where like, every line he delivers is like the exact same, and he's always like the same character in everything he's ever in.
Yeah. Like a true actor should be.
Absolutely bonkers, mate. Can bring us back a little bit to one of the sections from last episode. The discussion of gender and sexuality on the latest cast had definitely stuck with me a lot. As a person who's always struggled with labelling myself, what Jamie said really resonated with me. I'd love to live in a world where you can just be. That's a quote of you, Jim. I've always been confused about my sexuality, and I never felt a full and strong attachment to the gender I'm supposed to be. But I find that it's difficult to describe or label how I feel. I settled on the idea of being non-binary and bisexual, but in all honesty, Whenever the question, what is your gender identity / sexuality comes up among people who are accepting, I'll just say some variation of who knows. After years of trying on label after label, I realized that the idea of labeling myself was causing me such stress that I couldn't even properly explore who I am. I wouldn't experience an identity crisis, choose a label, then suffer... I would experience an identity crisis, choose a label, then suffer from an identity crisis because I didn't necessarily fit the label I chose, then repeat 100 times. I discovered I really felt happiest when I simply label myself as myself and not be concerned about the semantics of my own being. It makes life a hell of a lot easier, and it takes the rush out of self-discovery, allowing you to have a more enriched life experience. So that was my ramble. Here's my question. What sexuality are each of the Madagascar characters?
See, no, do you know how ahead of the curve I've been?
This is what I was going to say.
How long have I just referred to myself as, I'm just James? I'm James. Boom.
Damn, yeah, you're
That's
correct.
exactly what I was just about to say. That's why I did the little finger point thing.
I'm truly based.
No, because how many episodes was it ago we were talking about, like, what is it that to you makes you a man, or what makes you associate with your gender? Because I've been thinking about it since then. I'm like, I don't really associate with any of the stereotypical, I guess, male attributes, whatever that means. That's never been like a big part of my life. It's like, I'm a man, you know. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the less of that stuff there is, the better. The less, like, to be a man, you don't have to know how to repair
Change a tyre.
Yeah.
Although
This
James
man
is the man
knows.
to fucking go for that.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
No, like I don't. Anything happens with my car, fuck knows. Anything happens with the plumbing at home. Anything happens ever. I don't fucking know. I ain't any less of a man, motherfucker.
Yes, you are.
But I may be more of a woman.
There you go.
You just don't. But the thing is, nowadays you don't need to know those things because you can just pick up your phone and call a plumber, and they can turn up the same day to fix your shit.
No, but ever
Like, maybe
since there's
back
been
in-
plumbing, there's been plumbers. All of this shit where there's like male and female attributes. Oh, if you're a man and you like a musical,
Oh right.
you're not man. That makes you womanly. It's like,
Well,
fuck you.
There are sects of men who believe that like grooming and you know, nice smells and keep yourself clean and washing your face and cleansing or whatever. It's like
moisturizer,
moisturizing,
your
yeah,
skin.
stuff like
I
that.
fucking love moisturising.
Yeah, fucking slap it all over.
No, my dream is to get into, I mean, ideally a swimming pool, but a bath would be fine. A bath full of moisturiser. And just sitting there
Just like
until it's all absorbed and gone.
do you think there's any like psycho rich celebrity that does just
Gwyneth
nutty stuff
Paltrow,
like that?
or whatever her name is.
Gwyneth Paltrow, yeah.
Yes, her.
The pussy candle.
She gets in the pussy bath.
She's probably
She
got like a
harvests.
warehouse of like 100 different
She's got-
swimming pools of different moisturizers.
She's got the like Mad Max like tit suck machines, but for pussy juice instead. Just like a warehouse full of pussy
just
juice
making
machines.
candles.
Yeah, harvesting the pussy juice.
If those candles weren't so expensive, I'd say someone send them to the PO box so we could just have one of those fucking beauties burning away in
Yeah.
the background.
Do you know how much they actually cost?
So I try and I'm just assuming it's expensive because it's
Yeah,
Gwyneth
I've
Imagine if you
Paltrow's.
lit it up though and suddenly you like ascend to the ethereal realm. Wow, I really feel like I'm. No, I ain't saying that.
I really feel like I'm Gwyneth. So they're roughly about £58.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
expensive for a candle. How are they?
Yeah,
are
really
these
fucking
tiny
expensive.
or big ones?
It
No, how much pussy juice is we talking about?
just looks like a normal candle, but it just says this smells like my vagina.
Specifically, Gwyneth Paltrow's.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's her.
How much of her pussy juice has been harvested?
It's infinite. But then in the Google image like suggested, there's This Chris Whitty candle. I'd much prefer that.
That was amazing.
He came down from above.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Chris Pretty candle.
Sexuality or something.
Yeah.
What it means to be a man.
It's just
What it means to be anything. No, like I said, once we're all uploaded to the internet,
real neck one.
gender, sexuality, none of it will be anything.
Mm-hmm.
We'll all just be part of the Combine from Half-Life 2.
Just be you know. That's
Yeah,
all.
just fucking play Halo 3 if that's what makes you happy.
Well, speaking of playing, Max09 Willow 24 says, question for James. Do you play Sunday League footy of any kind? I show my mate a picture of you and he said him and his team played against you.
No. I've never played a Sunday league.
So you tell me you don't have like a secret alter ego, you just...
Yeah, like
hop
I'm a
on side.
professional
Jordan.
footballer.
Jordan,
Jordan, the fucking...
Michael Jordan.
I don't play football.
James
I'm
is
not.
actually all the most famous Jordans in the world
Yeah.
in his spare time.
Yeah, why do you think we can only do like Jar videos on certain days? Because I'm flying around the world. I don't play football. I just own football shirts. That's all.
Why do you think none of us are like into football?
Because we were losers.
No, are we losers because we're not into football, or are we into football because we're not losers?
So my theory with the sport thing is that I think you need like your team, you need your hometown, you need your...
No, but we have a team we could attach ourselves
Yeah,
to.
Swindon.
Swindon FC.
No, via our family, like where we came from.
No, but this is what I'm saying.
Are you talking about on an international level?
No,
yeah, like what team would you mean?
Well, I mean, rugby, obviously, we'd be for New Zealand.
Mm.
But I mean,
Well, that's what's interesting when
Football, it will be Liverpool.
But yeah, you said football, not rugby.
Yeah, football.
Liverpool?
Yeah,
Get out of here. Not fucking Liverpool.
Northern
FC.
blood runs through our veins.
Yeah, but Liverpool's shit. That's it. All the Jar fans
Yeah,
all
but
gone.
to me, I don't like the idea of just supporting somewhere just because I was born there, necessarily.
No, but the idea of supporting a team is that you just attach yourselves to them.
Yeah.
Because there's no point attaching yourselves to whichever one is
Just
just
always-
winning.
Yeah.
You just have to find a
'cause then
reason to
'cause-
attach yourself to any of them.
No, because then you're a trophy hunter. You only support the team that wins because you want.
Well, yeah,
to
exactly.
Be the one
So
that
there's no
wins.
point in doing that.
No, people do it anyway.
You have to attach yourself to. Yeah, but like I don't really care.
You've got to have an
I
interest.
don't
in
think
it,
I'm. Yeah, but
You need to watch it and enjoy watching it and enjoy the stuff around it.
Some people are really competitive too. They get really
Yeah,
into
yeah.
the whole thing. I mean, when there are games on in the UK, you hear like cheering all around the street. I mean,
no,
people get really into it.
you see,
England's pretty tame for that type of
no
stuff.
matter talking about like gender and stuff. What about nationality?
No,
You know,
I
like,
know
if you're in the pub
nationalism.
and there's a game on, and like people are just fucking losing their minds over this football match.
Or hooligans.
So we talk about like
Ni-
World Cup stuff or Euros. It's the country's teams playing, not individual.
No, even if it's like Manchester versus Liverpool.
That's not nationality. That's just team.
No, but it's still someone being so into this thing. And all the people there are so into this thing, and
Mhm.
I'm not.
Because
Why?
do you think part of it is also for me and you specifically, Jim? Our dad was like a sports guy, or is a sports guy.
Yeah, that makes me wonder even more why we're you and I.
No,
we're
but that makes me
so
think:
not
is
into
it like a, or maybe it skips a generation sort of bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
No, I think it's just how proactive was he when you were young in making you watch?
Massively. He really wanted us to, go into that sort of stuff. He always encouraged us to get into sports, because it's a huge part of like New Zealand culture. He was like a rugby player growing up.
So where did it go wrong? Was it games? If you didn't play
No,
games,
No, my theory is that I think moving around the country a lot as a child, I think if we stayed in New Zealand, we probably would have settled on some.
Maybe, but I
sport,
also think
depending on the social groups or whatever.
input from, because our mother really doesn't give a shit about that stuff. But also, I just find myself way more interested in shit that isn't real, fiction.
But I've always like enjoyed sports, but I never was interested in the competitive side. I'm much more interested in
the actual you physically doing it.
Yeah, I liked like athletics and swimming, and I guess the boring ones.
Well, yeah, like I never got into playing like competitive sports, but I was big into like going to the gym and shit.
So no, but here's the thing. Obviously, my whole thing with cars is because I was brought into the family from a young age. It was just like, oh, you're buying toy cars, you're helping me work on my car. So it was like ingrained in me from a young age that I was just gonna like cars because there's so much influence. But my parents hate football. They're not sport people, but I still like football. Because
that's like the thing though, isn't it? It's like it's almost like a coin flip where if you're gonna be I'm just gonna reject whatever the thing my parents like, or I'm gonna like I fucking love this thing.
It's a nature versus nurture debate, and the answers are beyond us.
Yeah, we can just speculate or whatever. What our little monkey brains are up to.
Yeah, but football's sick, isn't it? Yeah.
No.
It's the Euro soon anyway.
Yes.
You only started liking football because Mediterranean countries, they kind of care. Like, if they win the league, you will be in bed at 2 a.m. and 15 million of them will be driving around honking non-stop, celebrating, going mental. Don't get that in England. It's just like...
Yeah, I remember... it's so sad. Like, I would only watch football games just for the hope of, like, come on, the country, like, needs this. Like, people are fucking... You know, they just like need a win. You know, it's like something for people to like cheer against them. Yeah. Tied to your apron as well. Question mostly for Jim. About a month ago, I bought the Dark Souls remaster and played the game for the first time. I instantly fell in love. Like James, I'm not a gamer, but I became extremely addicted to the game. After I beat it, I decided to pick up Bloodborne as well. And though I initially enjoyed it, I found it's come to be quite monotonous. The environments all just feel a bit too similar visually and enemy-wise, and I found it's too easy to jet straight through enemies and head to a boss, even if it's overly far away. In Dark Souls, that sort of thing felt ritualistic and rewarding, but not so here. I've currently hit a dead end where both paths I could take are blocked by bosses, and I don't feel particularly motivated to try and defeat any. It's a shame because I generally enjoyed Lovecraftian horror more than medieval fantasy, but here we are. What are your thoughts on Bloodborne, and would you say the game is worth sticking it out? For reference, the 2 bosses I'm stuck on are, bear with me, Murgo's Wet Nurse and Abritus, Daughter of the Cosmos.
I never finished Bloodborne.
Did you get to those bosses? Did you get that far?
I never went against the Wet Nurse. I don't think I went against the Abritus either.
That's all you need to know about the game then.
Yeah, I only played it a couple hours. I probably would have played it if it wasn't stranded on PS4.
Yeah, that I definitely would have finished it multiple times if it wasn't stranded on PS4. But those criticisms, in my opinion, are totally valid. Also, I think Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne are all too easy.
Think so?
Yeah.
So do you find it annoying that Bloodborne gets... I think Bloodborne gets jerked off.
Yeah, for sure.
Out of the modern ones, ignoring Dark Souls 1, it's probably the most jerked off one.
Yeah. Dark Souls 1 is way better than Bloodborne. And I think Sekiro is way better than Bloodborne.
So do you think it's that just impeccable art direction then, or what? That has like really got people in.
Maybe because it's easier as well.
Right.
It requires... Maybe easier is the wrong word. It requires a different skill set to like...
Mm-hmm. Well, because I did play a few hours of it, and I did not get the same feeling that I got from Sekiro. That was like, oh,
yeah,
like, I need to see this through.
It's much less tight. The strategy you use in Bloodborne to get through the whole game, or as much as I've played, never changes.
Right.
It's a case of...
So I think it was in Joseph Anderson's video. He says something about this too, about it being fairly easy for a Souls game. Or
yeah,
does it not have like those dungeons that are really hard though? Or?
The dungeons Well, the thing is, that's another thing that makes it easier, because you can use the Chalice dungeons to basically farm XP.
Oh.
And I did that a bunch, and it made the game easier.
Mm-hmm.
For a game I was already finding quite easy. Also, it's got pretty bad bosses. So
Really?
it's got like really fucking good bosses, but a lot of them suck. Like these big beasts that are in Bloodborne.
Oh yeah, I did one where the camera was a real problem. Like trying to attack
so
it.
much of it is just this big thing that you can't really tell what it's doing, and it's flailing. That is so many of the bosses in Bloodborne. And again, it's not a bad game by any fucking means. But it's stranded on PS4.
Yeah, I was going to try and reiterate, it sounds like we're dunking on Bloodborne.
Yeah.
I guess just compared to maybe Dark Souls?
Compared to the tightness of especially Sekiro. Where, like, every single... it's the Guitar Hero thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, you're shown something and you have to choose the correct response.
Sekiro has actually changed the way I play games now.
Mm.
Like, I actually search out challenge more as opposed to coast.
Yeah. Because that was my reaction to Dark Souls 1. And if Bloodborne was a lot of people's like first entry point into that sort of thing, then I mean that's really good. But yeah, Bloodborne suffers in the departments I mentioned.
Well, seeing as we're on this topic, Wonderful Fruit 5543 asks, what are some video games that you think would make great movies? This question goes to anyone.
No, none. Don't.
We're always talking shit about video games. There has to be a good idea for like one of them. There has to be some way.
There isn't. None. If it's a game, it's a game. Don't adapt it.
Dude, there has to be something. I'm struggling there, man. Because all the ones that are picked are always just I hate that idea. Like this Uncharted movie that's coming out, this Borderlands movie.
Fucking hell.
That probably makes the most sense, because that game's just a movie anyway. So at least it would work.
No, but that's why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because it's a game copying film, and then it's going to be a film copying a game copying film.
But then it's still a film. But then
the only thing that makes
better.
Uncharted good is the fact that you can play it.
It's
You
a
barely do
playable
that.
Indiana Jones, and then there's taking the playable part out and just making it like a worse Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
Mark Wahlberg.
But then that's better than what though? What could be? What's better?
Well, it depends how much. Like honestly, I feel like this HBO Last of Us show, that has way more potential than any of these throwaway like Borderlands movies. To me,
but it's Last of Us.
I know
it's like an old IP now, but like, fuck, dude. I have more faith in that than like this Mario Illumination movie.
Oh, geez,
Even like when people were trying to sell this idea of a Mass Effect movie.
No,
Terrible idea to me. Because you'd have to make it so like hyper specific. You'd have to like just set it somewhere in the Mass Effect universe.
No, the only
you couldn't
thing that
just
would,
tell.
it would all be
No,
so
what would
surface
work?
level.
Mm-hmm.
No, none of it will ever work, because you can't like bring a Torian into the real world for like live action. It'd look fucked. But
I reckon you could do that now.
But what would work is like some, like following a Garrus type character as like a bounty hunter in Omega or something, like kind of
that's what I'm saying.
cyberpunk-y.
You have to go
That
in
would
so
work.
deep.
Yeah.
That why even make it at that point?
You could just make a cyberpunk kind of space.
Yeah,
thing at that
and
point.
you could just make that a game anyway.
They should.
And it's the same with like there was the BioShock movie too, and another terrible idea.
Mhm.
Just because the worlds are cool, I don't think it necessarily means it's going to translate to a movie. Movies have certain limitations that games don't.
Yeah. And when a bunch of your game revolves around developing this world,
That is interactable, specifically interactable.
yeah, and like you can just take your time at any point to listen to audio logs or to read the codex or whatever. You don't
That's
get that in a movie.
That's probably why something like The Last of Us does work, because it's just kind of like a mini series that you can play.
Yeah,
So
totally.
It would adapt nearly 1-to-1 as just being like a show.
But
Mhm.
what would be the worst? What's the worst fucking game you can think of that would be?
Borderlands. To me, but like the idea of a Borderlands movie is actual like hell. Like
Yeah.
It's fine in its video game realm. It kind of it's cringy, but it belongs there.
Yeah, for sure.
A Gears of War movie would be fucking awful.
I don't know, actually. I think if you got the right person attached to a Gears film...
You could say the same for a lot of games, I suppose, because...
Halo
had, I feel like, a chance. It had an era where it was even building up to it at a certain point. That's what District 9 eventually became.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because it used like a bunch of unused shit from the like pre-production for that Peter Jackson Halo movie, all the weird guns and stuff. But again, it would be tough. You're really fucking asking a lot. I genuinely don't think I can think of a single game that even like needs
Fortnite. That is a movie.
It exists.
Yeah, Ready Player One.
You said it yourself.
Now movies they're just becoming they're all just becoming Ready Player One.
No, I'm wondering if I should give Ready Player One more credit now, because it's kind of a realistic future.
yeah.
And it's really sad.
Oh, it's so sad.
It's depressing as fuck. Like the second VR and Fortnite get combined, that's the end of the fucking world.
Yeah, but then everything will be in the fucking shit Fortnite style. Like, death is easier than that.
Yeah, but imagine seeing them fat asses in VR.
The Fortnite Xenomorph in VR.
Oh, damn. Now we're getting somewhere.
What about Alien Isolation as a movie?
I'd prefer that, because then I might actually get through it. Sorry, people actually like that game. I might try it properly at some point.
I might, now that I've played through a bunch of Resident Evil.
Yeah,
because when I tried to play it, it was like... I think I tried to play it on like the Xbox One. So it would have been like locked 30, horrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the scary bit.
I didn't even get to the alien when I played that game. Because there's this part early on where these like robots you've got to like sneak around. I personally never find that gameplay where you've just got to hide from things and you've got nothing.
I hate
that. That AtLA style, I don't really like. I don't find it scary or fun or anything really. I just kind of find it irritating. I've tried playing Outlast too, but
it stresses me out. I don't know why.
I want to be stressed out by it, but I just find it. I don't know. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2, that freaked me out. That was like the tension I'm after, but there was something about like Alien Isolation that didn't work for me. Well, it should do. I love Alien.
Yeah, and the fucking like graphics and shit. God damn.
And wasn't it the Halo Wars guys who made that fucking game?
Alien Isolation.
I'm pretty sure.
Ensemble,
yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Halo Wars is the better game.
Fuck you.
No, shut up.
We already pissed people off with our game opinions.
No,
dude.
Halo Wars was great.
Mine are based.
Yours aren't based.
Halo Wars is a fucking shit game, mate.
No, it's incredible. You just weren't as good as us.
No, I wasn't interested in playing with you guys because it fucking sent me to sleep every time I played it.
We did play. Cocky, Ruben and Alex thought they could beat me and Matt combined.
Oh yeah.
And we won.
Damn, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, so you can't even use the excuse that I was bad.
No, because that's just the best moment in our gaming history, is putting the gamers in their place.
God damn it. Dinner Dog says, if I send you some super sour sweets, and I mean sour, I'm talking 10 times the potency of warhead/toxic waste. Would you guys be up for trying them on video? They're so fucking sour, I could barely keep them in my mouth for more than 5 seconds at first. I'd send them straight from Amazon so you wouldn't have to worry about COVID contamination.
Does this person think we're a bitch? We ate Scorpion on this fucking
Yeah, we're going to
video.
do 18 mini roll challenge. That's going to happen.
I'm fine with sour.
Yeah, I ain't a bitch.
Nah, sour ain't shit to me. I think the only like taste thing that can go too far is heat.
Yeah, send us some ghost chili peppers and Scorpion.
No, that shit, like it just ruins you.
Yeah.
When it goes over your window, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do a couple more then before we end. Josh_R2002 says, howdy mingers. Long time viewer, first time commenter here. I wanted to commune directly with Beast himself on this one. Jim's ghostly encounter involving a scream at his place of work at 1 a.m. has left me stumped for an incredibly long time. And much like Jim, I've been trying to rationalize it as well. I think I might have a plausible answer for what the scream could have been. It could quite possibly have been a deer. To contextualize with my own experience, one night I was walking home in the dark through the fields, I live in Britain by the way, and I too heard a human scream. It genuinely sounded like a woman screaming in pain/fear. After a while, I glimpsed into the darkness and saw that it was a deer. It was running around incredibly frantically, and it spooked me so much that I genuinely ran all the way home. Therefore, Jim, if this incident happened in the countryside at night, I think it's possible that a deer came running past your place of work and let out a scream, as they seem to do so exclusively in the wee small hours for some reason. Feel free to debunk me, but hopefully this helps to explain the unexplainable. Or perhaps Auntie Zula has finally caught up with you.
No. Knowing that place, I don't think that's possible.
Yeah, I wish it could be explained away like that, but it sounded inside the building. And I was inside. I wasn't out in a forest. I wasn't out in a field.
Yeah, and with either side of that place, there's no way a deer can get there. It's a main, like a road through a village, and just while open field, it wouldn't have been close enough to sound like it's coming from the building.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
People were staying in the hotel that night, surely. That's the only thing that would make sense.
Yeah, why would they scream at 1 a.m? Downstairs where I was. It was one door away. That was the sound.
Did they look like the kind where maybe it was that good dick?
No.
Oh.
What's been good dick?
But why else would someone be screaming at 1 a.m? I can't think of any other reason.
Oh.
Yeah, no, because
Yeah, I know what you mean.
it wasn't like a pleasure moan.
Right.
It was
like a ghost going.
It was like a like imagine if you were hit by a carriage and the wheel was going over your back. That sort of moan.
Like an agony scream.
Yeah.
Mm.
God damn it.
No, but I was thinking, isn't there this
I wish you'd
theory?
just share that memory with me so I could be like,
Okay, yeah.
break it
Yeah,
down.
see, this is what I mean. In the future, when it's just all brainwave uploads, just be like zoing, and you'd be like, yeah, that's someone getting that good dick.
Yeah.
No, but isn't there a theory that from like Einstein or something that there's like energy that kind of
Yeah, some people believe that shit.
that makes sense.
This is the most fucked up thing though, because I'm like the person that would never believe in any of that trash. And if I heard myself, if I went back in time and told myself, you're going to experience this thing, and it's like a ghostly weird thing, and I'm looking at my own face, I'd be like, fuck you, dude. You don't know what you're talking about.
How does that not destroy your whole worldview then?
It has. And I've been spiraling ever since.
See, it's just like, when's ours? When do we experience the same thing? When do we go into a building that has the ghostly remains?
Ghost experiences are a when.
Yeah.
It's just you have to be in the right time in the right place where someone died in a certain building at a certain time, and it just their energy is left behind.
Would you guys do a Ouija board in that building with me at night?
No, I'm not. No. I would just.
You know what? If you hadn't had that experience, yes. But
Really? You won't because of.
I'd happily go there with people. I don't think I could go there by myself.
No, you wouldn't have to go by like you, me, and James finger on the Ouija board.
I could probably do that. No. How about this though? I think which is much scarier. Let's say you go there to the location of this place. You wait till midnight, 1 a.m, and that's when you go out into that woods where there's the story of the hanging little girl or whatever.
No, because
there was no hanging little girl.
There's so much shit in that area.
Yeah, dude.
It was the number one place during World War II where they stored ammunition in the UK. So there's all these tunnels and shit underneath.
Yeah. Dude, it's genuinely so creepy.
Do you know what's worse about this is I work next to it. It's like up the road.
Dude,
we can go there.
I want to go there. Like when
go
COVID
there.
isn't a thing anymore. I want to go there
At night.
Yeah.
Do you genuinely think you could do that? Walk around that woods?
With I could not do it by myself. No way.
No, I'd die. I'd just kill myself. Honestly, it's just like no, I'm fucking out of here. Because you'd lose where your car is, and then you're lost in the woods, and then it's like...
That's what we deserve, is to be lost in the woods IRL.
That's the meme, isn't it? It's like the white guys that like
Yeah.
like hear the scary noise and they're like, let's
I'm
go
nothing if
investigate
not a
that.
white
Let's find
guy.
out what that creepy shit was.
Yeah.
I would do it, but it's just like I'd have to sleep at one of your houses if we do see anything after. I'd have to...
Be cuddled
No, but
all
you-
night.
Yeah.
When people are together and all it takes is for one of them to be scared, then it spreads.
It would be
Like
me.
The empathy of that fear, like,
Mhm.
is such a like powerful emotion.
No, but it's a good Java video. Hello, guys.
Yeah, if we
Nothing
get
more
like a
evening.
night vision camera.
Yeah, but then we'll see nothing. We'll upload the video and be like, that's right, I can see something.
Fucking Herobrine.
No, that is something that's actually scary though.
Herobrine.
Yeah, no, like if you were to take a picture, like in some old like shack, and then you're like, wait, what's that in the corner?
Yeah, I find that idea really creepy. There's that
Yeah.
horror movie that does it. That the guy from Spill wrote.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. It's got the stupid. It's called like Bagul or something. But that was the idea. It's like Ethan Hawke like watching like old film reels and trying to find Bagul, and then he does something creepy.
You know, I probably talked about this in the class, but the scariest moment in my life was when I was just on my phone filming pictures, and I started to notice loads of pictures I never remember taking. So, and they were black. They were black. So I was
Well,
just
that was-
like,
Yeah, because that was what was so creepy about when Slenderman first started popping up. That was his lore, wasn't it? It was like these like old pictures of like, what's that creepy guy in the background with these?
yeah, but
Yeah,
I looked at these pictures and it's just like my heart fucking sank and I started to panic. And it's just because they were all black screens or white screens, but they look like my womb. So I was just like, if I click this and there's something there, I'm just fucked. But it turned out they were all of my bed sheet or my room. I was asleep and taking pictures of my room and my bed sheets, and I was just like, but I saw them and I was like, what about if something's there? What about if there's actually something in these pictures? It's just like, I'm fucked. I'm not going in my room ever again. I'm moving out.
Yeah, but you've got a house that would like it's just not haunted.
No, because it's a new build.
Yeah,
Yeah.
relatively.
And I'm on the top
I
floor.
don't know, maybe it was built on like a Saxon burial site.
No, but I find ghost stuff really interesting, but it's just like I'm a fucking pussy. I'm gonna fucking cry in that shit if I ever
No,
experience
I
it.
feel like my experience with it has made me way more open to like aliens and shit. Just anything.
Well, yeah.
It's like,
No,
okay,
aliens
so
are just straight up real, bro. The US government's just like,
yeah, this month.
UFOs are just like,
yeah.
Should we, no, why doesn't jar people send us their ghost stories and we'll read
why are you
them?
not sending us UFOs?
We'll read your ghost stories while around the pussy juice candle.
Yeah, with the Ouija board.
Yeah.
Captain Goatsy can send
No,
us
actually,
away
no,
then.
wait. If we hit X goal on Patreon, we'll go to the woods by the pub and do a spooky video.
Whew. I'm getting scared just thinking about.
No, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Fuck.
Let's fucking do it.
I'll need cuddles for like a year. Like, I'm not fucking, I ain't surviving that.
Captain Goatsy can send us away then. Thoughts on the villains in the new Space Jam being called the Goon Squad?
Wise up, Gooners.
I think they called that in the original too, right?
Are they?
I don't know.
Let's say they're not, because it's just fucking annoying. Like every
Well, speaking of fucking Ready Player One, this trailer just
Oh
looks
my
like
God,
Ready Player
yeah.
One.
Jesus
Iron
Christ.
Giants there again.
Yeah, everything's just got to be like, whoa, look, there's that and this too.
That thing I know.
Yeah, you remember this one? No, fuck you. I don't remember shit.
Get some damn integrity.
The only thing I
Bitches.
remember is Ryan Reynolds running around GTA Online.
Yeah. No, we're going into a place where like we're so void of new ideas. It's like, fuck, what video game doesn't have a shit story that we can just make into a movie?
No, it's not even that. It's just what video games have not been movies yet.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they have
Yeah.
good stories or not.
They're gonna make.
Mortal Kombat doesn't have a movie.
Yeah. Well, they did.
Yeah,
It doesn't even matter if they did. Mario had a movie. Mortal Kombat had a movie.
Yeah, but they're gonna do.
Holy shit, yeah.
They'll do a movie for that Xbox original game that was gonna compete with something else.
A cameo movie or some
No,
shit.
what's it called? You played it.
Or Too Human.
Too Human.
Too Human.
There's gonna be a Too Human.
Two humans
When we get the
coming
Too
back.
Human game coming out, we know there's problems.
Do you think they only made that franchise so they could call the sequel TWO Human? Two Human.
Too human.
And have it like co-op. So it was 2 humans.
Don't Microsoft, don't listen to this, please.
Yeah. They've got that kind of bullshit money where they'll greenlight something that dumb.
Yeah.
And we can sue them for creating their idea.
No, that's what we should do with this. What is it? Jam?
A jar jam?
No, the
Space Jam.
Space Jam. Yeah. They've taken that from us.
Everything takes from us.
Yeah, we say Goon, the world
It's
says
just like, oh, Goon.
how
On
long?
Slam, we say that all the time. Welcome to the jam. We say that a bunch.
Yeah.
That's another one where it's like, Space Jam is such a time capsule movie. You can't make another one. You fucking can't. And when you try, it's going to be cringe. It's just like trying to make another
The
Shrek.
first one was cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why it's like such a unique cringe that you could not get again.
Mm.
That soundtrack, the actors that are in it, like the look of it and everything. It's such a fucking this perfect.
Isn't Bill Murray in it? For like
yeah, Bill
30
Murray's
seconds?
in it. I want to say Melman, but he's not called Melman. He's the guy from Seinfeld. Newman.
Newman.
Yeah.
I'm
honestly,
looking forward to it.
The
I
whole
wanna
time
see
we've
it
been
this summer.
talking that Free Guys has just been in the back of my fucking head.
You want to talk about Free Guys?
Because we watched that
Free
trailer.
Guy?
Free Guy. We watched that new trailer
Yeah.
right before we started recording or whatever.
Okay, here's an ultimatum. You have to see one at the cinema. The Free Guy or the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
The Hitman's
Oh.
Bodyguard.
Fuck. That's genuinely
oh, fuck,
like
he's in
really
both of them,
difficult.
isn't he? Fuck's sake. Yeah, but Samuel L. Jackson will carry that one.
I think I'd rather see Fall Guys the movie or whatever. Free Guy.
No. No, the Hitman Bodyguard.
The Hitman's Bodyguard is one of those kind of movies where it's like, it is so boring, where there is nothing to it, where it only exists because it's like studios looking at, right, who is number one right now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then just assembling this fucking awful shite. And then making a sequel to it.
Yeah, but Free Guy.
I think Free Guy will be so bad. Like one of the worst films ever made. I think it's going to be that bad. And everyone's always like, oh, Jim's thing against Ryan Reynolds is just like a joke thing. It's like, no, look at his project. Look at what the fuck he's doing with his life.
But say like
He's living in his fucking mansion and shit.
on Instagram with his like, yeah.
Yeah.
Deadpool 3 coming soon. Marvel MCU epic.
Oh my god, yes. I hope they remake Endgame but stick in
No,
Deadpool.
no, this is a whole new option. They can do like Endgame from Deadpool's perspective.
Ooh. Now this I
Captain
like.
America Civil War from Deadpool's perspective.
How are they going to bring back Iron Man? Deadpool's like,
Deadpool's Iron Man.
hey guys, nobody likes that Iron Man died. And then he goes back and just pulls him out of the script or whatever. Because that's the Deadpool thing, isn't it?
No, so he would like time travel to when Iron Man's gonna click, and then he like stops him clicking and takes the thing off him and becomes Iron Man, and then Deadpool's Iron Man.
Oh shit. Edit this bit out and then just send
I'll
that,
edit
email that to Disney.
I won't edit, and I'll just send that clip to them, and
Yeah.
Disney Plus trailer's just gonna go up.
Yeah, fax them that video.
I think we're done here, guys.
Yeah.
No more Fall Guys for this episode.
Yeah, stay tuned for a Free Guy live action recreation.
Of ghost stories in the woods.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.